Good afternoon. Welcome to GrainTV. It's November 22nd, 2013. I'm Logan Burgess. Joining me to my right here is Cody Bills to help break down the action that we saw in a mixed trade here to end the week in Chicago. Corn is down 3/4 cents for the December contract. January beans, really the focus of today's trade, up 28 cents. We had Chicago wheat up 3/4 cent. Kansas City wheat picking up a little bit there, up 7 cents. As I said, though, Cody, really the focus for a lot of traders today was the soybean complex in general. What was going on there? What was pressuring things?
Yeah, we certainly saw the soybean complex move higher here. One of the things that helped it out was a strong cash market, and I'll speak to that very shortly here. But another major story was the export sales that we saw. Today we saw 115,000 metric tons sold to China.
Yep.
That comes on the heels of yesterday's export sales report, where we booked about 1.4 million metric tons of soybeans. That was extremely strong and well over the analyst estimates. The bottom line here is that when it comes to meeting the USDA expectations, we're about 90% complete of the sales that they forecasted in the November WASDE report. That compares to 74% last year. We're running well ahead of pace. I think traders are expecting to see the USDA having to revise that export sales figure, and I think that added to some of the bullishness today. One of the other things that people were talking about was the soy meal complex. That was up about 4% today, and I think we saw some of that spillover buying pressure move into soybeans, really helping us bring to the upside of this channel that we've been trading, this expanding triangle that we've been trading in the last month or so. You know, Logan, with that being said, what do you think farmers should be doing at this point in the trade activity?
Yeah, well, you know, if you take a look here at the daily chart on that January contract, you can see today and yesterday we really had two very positive days worth of price action. You can see we have this trend line drawn here across the top of the range that we've been trading here recently, or this expanding triangle. I certainly think this is a good time as a prudent risk manager to be taking a serious look at making some sales into your cash market. If you remember late last week, Thursday and Friday, we really saw the bottom fall out of the basis market when futures rallied like this. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that a little bit here again, and I think that these prices are pretty darn good compared to what we've seen here over the last several weeks. I know, though, Cody, you're a little bit more bullish than I am on this bean market. You know, certainly a very strong day today in terms of price action. What's kind of your take on it?
Well, you know, I think that we have the possibility of maybe breaking out of this expanding triangle. You know, this has been a resistance level up here, and I guess the way I'd look at it is the next few days will really be very telling. Whether or not we chop around the high side here or we turn and move lower, that is yet to be decided. But the fact that we were unable to go down to the lows, unable to really test those lows before we're back up to the high side of this triangle, I think this is very bullish, and I wouldn't be surprised that maybe we break out. So the way I would play it is, you know, maybe keep an eye on a stop below 13. If we close below 13, there's a good chance we'll be heading back to the lower side of this range. So maybe put a stop there and let this thing run. If we break out, we may have a strong movement to the upside. I'm not saying that that's a guarantee. You know, there's no guarantees in the futures market, but I'd say let another day pass here. We'll see how the price action pans out.
Yeah, certainly. Well, right now we have a lot of movement going on in the cash grain market. Certainly, here on Fridays we like to kind of focus on what we're seeing right now in terms of basis. I know, Cody, in general we saw a relatively quiet week in terms of corn and soybean spot changes, but certainly had a lot of action along the river system.
Yeah, you know, when we look at the cash market, we came off a little bit last week, and a lot of that had to do with the rising futures prices. This week, corn improved in terms of average cash price across the U.S. Basis improved 2 cents. Soybeans was only 1 cent, but where we saw the most activity was along the river here. Corn basis at river terminals on average across the U.S. was up 8 cents. We saw soybeans along the river up 5.5 cents. That was mostly due to barge rates coming off of their highs here and retracing a little bit. So the overall cost to get it down to the Gulf declined, and that allowed basis along the river to move a little bit higher here.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I think you raise a great point, Cody. It's going to be important to see how this market opens up Sunday night, how the follow-through action is on Monday, whether we're ready for another leg higher, or if this area that's acted as support or resistance here in the past is going to continue to limit the trade. If you guys want access to these markets, visit us over at grainhedge.com. You can take a look and chart these contracts just as we do here on GrainTV. Additionally, we now have a great mobile trading app available for traders out there. We'd be happy to give you a free demo of that as well. So if you're interested in either one of those, give us a call here, 877-472-4607, or visit us online over at grainhedge.com. Thanks a lot for joining us here to wrap the week up on a Friday. We'll be back here Monday to take a look at that bean market.